Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode of TCG Talk, back today with another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over my top 10 favorite cards in the Hunted, specifically for Assassin and Ninja. Kind of talk about 10 cards that I'm really enjoying, both from a power perspective, but also from a thematic or archetype perspective, and just kind of give you some insight. So hopefully you enjoy this. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoy your stay. If you're a long-standing supporter, thank you so much as always. Again, feel free to check out the Discord down below, the channel membership, and also if you don't want to do those, it's completely fine. Go check out the Google Sheet I have down below that shows a bunch of different creators. Go follow them, support their stuff, and we will get right into it. Also, a side note, my new work schedule, I work shift work, so I'm working like 5 days on, 4 days off, 5 days on, 4 days off, and I work like 10 plus hour shifts depending on how my day goes. And so all I have to say, I'm going to be doing my videos on my days off, especially when Reagan's at work, in order to front load my videos so I can give y'all content and I don't have to kill myself on days where I'm working. So I'd say all that to say, if you see me wearing the same thing over multiple videos, it's not because I'm some crazy person that wears the same thing every single day. It's I'm stacking videos on the same day. So hopefully y'all can be patient with me as I kind of change up my content schedule in order to be able to facilitate these videos for y'all. But thank y'all so much for your patience. I know I haven't done as many videos as I like to do, and I'm going to start that back up now that I'm kind of figuring out a schedule for myself. But regardless, we will get into the first card. The first one is Blood Spattered Vest. So this is an Assassin Ninja Chest Legendary Blade Break 1. Whenever a dagger you control hits, you may gain 1 resource and put a stain counter on this. Then if there are 3 more stain counters on this, destroy it. So this card is really cool. I'm most excited about it in Ninja. What this does for Syndra in fast aggro matchups, I think, is very beneficial. I think it's more beneficial than Flamescale Furnace or Tunic. Tunic already is kind of like the tertiary option in Syndra, in my opinion. I would run Furnace first anyways. But if you're not on a Tome of Imperial Flame, like Phoenix Flame list with like Flame Call Awakenings and stuff, and you're not trying to take the most advantage of Furnace that you can, I honestly, and you run more blues to try to hit your kunai out more, I could see the Blood Spatter Vest being a better option for you. Because it has a May trigger, you don't have to put a stain counter on it, so you can choose when you want to do it. And in a turn that lasts in more faster, aggressive matchups like Zen, Syndra, any other kind of fast matchup where the game might go 3 to 6 turns, I think this might be better because you can choose when you need that resource, right? And your kunai, they're going to hit because of Flick Knives, because of all the things that you can do, because of cards that flick your daggers away anyway. You're going to hit, and you're going to be able to choose when you want to get that resource. And it could be really cool to be able to play some Chain Enders for free, right? Or it's even like a Command and Conquer or something like that, right? Like you could have a crazy turn where you hit with both daggers, gain, and you have a Command and Conquer in your hand. You choose to gain 2 resources, and then you play a Command and Conquer for free. It's basically like a really buffed up Heart and Cross Strap. And I think that's a really cool idea in like fast to mid-rangey games where you really want to choose when you have that resource. You don't have to wait for Tunic. You don't have to wait for the right hand to pitch the Flamescale Furnace and be able to like have to maybe take a lesser efficient line in order to get those resources. You can just play Blood Spatter Vest. I think it's really good. When it comes to Arachne Marionette, because I'm not going to talk about Uziri or any of the other ones. If you look at my public Marionette list right now, the title of it is, I know Tunic is better, but I don't care. I'm doing that because I want to run an all-assassin equipment suite. For the love of God, I just want to do it. I don't want to run Snapdragon Scalers. I don't want to run Tunic. I don't want to run Crown of Providence. I want to flip all my equipment, and I have all cold full assassin equipment. That's just like the dream, right? So I want to play this. I do think in Marionette, this is actually worth at least testing in faster matchups. Being able to get that 1 resource when you need it, to be able to, like, you could dagger into a Codex CNC, but you don't have to be on Tunic counter to do it, right? If they take that dagger hit, then, you have 1 card left in hand. They might not be as worried about your mark or not mark because there's not much you can do with it. I think that it could be really, really useful in those faster matchups when you really need to get that disruption out. But we'll see. I'm super excited about it. The next one, and probably the most influential one, is Hunter's Clave. This is the most influential card in Assassin. It's crazy. What this does, not just for Arachne Marionette, but for Assassin as a whole and as a class, is just insane. This is going to change the way that Nu is built. This is going to change the way that Uziri is built, because I think Nu and Uziri both will run this dagger. And they're going to want to run the Mark stealth cards like Mark of the Black Widow and Mark of the Funnel Web and stuff like that. And even some of the go again stuff in order to be able to Uziri flip or to react with Nu. It's just going to change everything. And I think that this is gonna just shape the Assassin class as a whole. Assassin is now a stealth mark class all around. It's gonna help even slip through the cracks, do some more stuff, and shoot, even if you wanted to meme a little bit, you could make a Arachne Huntsman list with some stealth cards in there, and then use Hunter's Clave and like Spider's Bite and really switch between the contract and stealth stuff. So super excited about this one. Not much to say about that. Really, really crazy. So the third one is Pain in the Backside. This is a 0-cost Majestic red, attacks for 3, blocks for 2. When this hits a hero, target dagger you control deals 1 damage to them. If damage is dealt this way, the dagger has hit. So the cool thing about this, if you notice in the text box, is there's a couple other cards that have similar wording in them to this, but the difference is the other cards, when they basically force flick your dagger, like Bite, for example, in Assassin, it breaks the dagger. This doesn't break the dagger. So what this allows you to do is it allows you to do a couple things. So Ninja, it's really cool because you can like lead with your kunais, attack with both of them. Then you play Pain in the Backside, hit with kunai again. And so now you've let's say this didn't block any of it, and you hit with 3 kunais so far. Then what you're able to do is utilize stuff like Stab Wound, utilize things that care about how many times you've hit this turn, how many times a weapon is hit. Like, this allows you to trigger different things without breaking the chain, and also just get extra damage in there. It's basically a 0 for 4 go again is the way you got to look at it. And so Ninja action, Assassin attack action card, so you can Ancestral Empowerment this. The only downside is it's not Draconic, so you're going to have to use Fealty in order to get the most out of it with that. But overall, I think this card is really cool in Ninja. There's some cool play lines you can do with it. And in Assassin especially, I think this is a really cool card. It allows you to be able to do some cool things with Marked. Like, yes, when this hits, it'll mark. But, like, let's say they don't, it's just something that they don't want to block, right? Like, if you hit with if you attack with Mark of the Huntsman, not Mark of the Huntsman, Hunter's Clave, and they block it because they don't want you to mark. And then you play this. And you mark them anyway. Well, then they're like, okay, well, now I want this hit to hit because you're going to mark me. I'm going to get rid of your mark anyway. And then you end with something else. So it's a way to cheat in damage. It's a way to really throw off your opponent's like blocking decisions. And I think it's a really cool card. I'm more excited about Ninja for sure. But the fact that it deals damage with your daggers without blowing them up allows you to do some cool stuff. Also in Marionette, you could run stuff like Spider's Bite, stuff like Scale Peeler, and you lead with it, and let's say they block it, or they don't block it, that's fine too. And then, you attack with this, and then hit with your Spider's Bite again, right? Like, you can do some cool stuff where you're just forcing those dagger on hits without actually breaking them or attacking with them again, which is, I think, really, really useful. So I'm super excited about this card. Next one is Pick Up the Point. The power level of this card isn't as crazy. I just love that they put this in. Before the set was fully released, I said, I think in a couple of videos, and definitely in my live stream, I hope they give us 1 or 2 more Concealed Blade-like effects. I wanted to be able to bring my daggers back after flick kniving them consistently. There's several cards in the set that do it, including Pick Up the Point. I think Pick Up Point's the best one. When this attacks, you may retrieve a dagger from your graveyard. You pay 1 resource to equip it. It's a 0 for 3 go again that lets you go get a dagger back. This is really cool because I think it's going to let you do a bunch of different things. If you can like get a really cool cost reduction turn down, especially in Syndra, being able to like attack with her daggers, Draconic, maybe you use a fealty token on this. Now you have 3 Draconics. Now you bring both daggers back. You attack with them again. Like, you're able to retrieve daggers and do different things. I can't think of like certain play lines off the top of my head, but I think there's just ways whenever you add in ways to bring daggers back and add in more ways to pop daggers without having to break the chain in Syndra, I think that's very powerful. And I'm really excited to like test around and mess around with certain combos, 2 and 3 card combos, to be able to utilize this retrieve mechanic really well. So I'm super excited about that. The next one, This card's insane. Quick dodge flexors. It's a legendary generic equipment. Defense reaction, pay 1 resource. Add this card to the active chain link as a defending card. If it has 2 base, it has 2 base on this chain link. At the beginning of the end phase, if this is defended this turn, destroy it. So what this card does is off of a single blue, it's the simplest way to describe it. It allows you to block 6 over 3 chain links. You'll block 2, then they attack you again. You pay an additional resource. Now it switches from chain link 1 to chain link 2. You block 2. Then they attack you again on chain link 3. You pay your last resource of your blue. It switches from chain link 2 to chain link 3. You block 2. So it's just like hopping chain links. This is crazy for decks that maybe have a couple non-blocks. Like this is crazy for like more fatigue style gameplay where you can like use one card to, because Syndra's going to have a lot of 1 and 2 card pings just like Zen is. And this allows you to basically utilize one card to block all of those, right? So super, super good. This is going to be a staple in a lot of decks, and it's really powerful. The next one, which we were geeking out about on the live stream, is Save Your Bloodshed. It's a 0-cost block 3 red majestic for Assassin and Warrior. Your next dagger attack this turn gets +4. The next time you would hit a marked hero with a dagger this turn, draw a card. Also, that just reminded me. Let me go back for 2 seconds. We're doing this on the fly because I'm a professional YouTuber. This says, target dagger you control deals 1 damage to them. This also will allow you to deal 1 damage with Kiss of Death, the dagger attack action card. So you can then deal 2 damage with Kiss of Death because it says when this hits, they lose a life. So you'll basically deal a damage with Kiss of Death if it's already on the chain, then play this, or then deal a damage from this. So it's 2 damage. I say that because this one does the same thing. This says your next dagger attack this turn gets +4. So this could give Kiss of Death +4. Because it doesn't say dagger weapon, it says dagger attack. The next time you hit a marked hero with the dagger this turn, draw a card. So if you go into the turn marked, this is like a really, really good play, right? But you go into the turn marked, and you play this in the Kiss of Death. Kiss of Death is now a 7 power attack that deals an additional damage on hit, and it draws a card if you're going into it marked. It's just unbelievable. Like, unbelievable. It's so good. And it says the next time you hit a marked hero this turn, draw a card, right? So just so good. So good. This is a 3 of in the list. Warrior's probably going to use this really well too, but this is such a cool card. Now, this one's a super big sleeper. I think this one's really cool. It's a ninja action. When this attacks, if it is draconic, it gets, when it hits a hero, put a -1 counter on equipment they control. Then if it has 0, destroy it. So if they block you out on turn 1, let's just say for some or your turn 1 or turn 2, and you've already made a fealty, and they block out all your early stuff, and they don't have enough to block this out, and you can make it draconic with like a fealty token at the end of your turn, their tunic's gone. You'll put a -1 counter on tunic, it'll have 0, and then it'll kill it. This also can kill flick knives if it hits. It can kill valiant dynamos if it hits. And then at worst, it gives all these battle worn 2 and temper 2 equipment now 1, right? 2 of these can kill a flame scale first. I think this is such a good chain ender for Syndra, such a good chain ender, especially if you're making decent fealty tokens. And I think it should be looked at more because there's going to be a lot of 1 block stuff in this set that is going to be very, very useful. Apologies if you heard my phone there. I think it's just going to be really, really good. Getting so many texts here. But I think this is a really underrated card, and it's not something people are looking at because they're so interested in the Majestics and like the big parts of the set. We're going to see how it plays out, but I really, really like this card. This one is very interesting. Starting Point. It's an Assassin Warrior equipment legs. Attack reaction, destroy this. Target attack gets go again. Activate this only if you've played a card or activated an ability this reaction step. I bring this up for Uziri. This is so cool for Uziri to be able to give like a Command and Conquer go again. So you could lead with a stealth card and like a 4-card hand. Then you flip with Uziri. So now you have activated an ability, this reaction step. And then you're able to like flip into a Command and Conquer and then attack react this and give it go again. So you're able to basically give a 2 for 6 go again in Uziri. That's the only reason I put this in this list. I think it's really, really cool. Uziri already used Snapdragon Scalers or Black Tech Whispers anyway. And honestly, I'd rather give a 2 for 6 go again in a Uziri list than a regular card. So I think this card's really, really cool, and I hope people experiment with it more. This is another retrieve mechanic, up sticks and run. You may retrieve a dagger from your graveyard, pay 1 to equip it. Your next dagger attack gets +4. I really like this with Assassin specifically because you're able to like send a Hunter's Clave, a 2-card Hunter's Clave for 5, and on hit mark, and then attack with something else. This is really good with graphene as well if they are marked, because then it's a 1 for 5, and you still have 1 resource floating where you could end with something else. I just really like this card. I'm not saying it's going to be main boarded, but I do want to make a Daggers Matters list for Assassin and Ninja where you're just totally focusing on buffing and utilizing daggers even more so than like a normal list. And I think this is really, really cool for that. Then we have Wrath of Retribution. I'm going to make a whole separate video on this card as far as like some of the crazy play lines you can do with it. But basically, you're able to make like 4-card 26s with this. Like, pretty, not easily, but it's not super Christmas line. Like if you have stuff like are the Dragon Blood, Spreading Flames, any type of cost reduction stuff with this card, it gets really stupid really fast. Basically on a decent turn, you're going to be attacking with your kunai 4 times total, and they're each going to be coming in for 2. If it's on a Spreading Flames turn, they're each coming in for 3. So you're just going to get insane value from this card. Super excited about it. There's a reason it's a legendary level, because if you had 3 of this card, you would just go nuts. I totally understand why they put it as a 1 of, but yeah, really good card. Definitely make an entire video off of that. So that's my top 10. Like I said, some of them were really big in terms of power level. Some of them were just bigger in terms of like thematics and how I enjoy the card. Let me know what yours are. If there are any on this list that, or anything on that I did not put on this list that you're really excited about, let me know, especially if you're a Warrior player. I'm not as big on Warrior, so I didn't want to like talk out of my ass and like try to, you know, act like, you know, I knew or did not know what I was talking about. I know some Warrior players are more excited for some things than others, so definitely let me know. But if you like this type of content, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. If not me, it's completely fine. Go back down to the description. There is a Google Sheet there with over 100 creators. Go pick one. I highlighted some in yellow that I think are really good. I changed that up, if I can remember to, about every month to give different creators a highlight. So definitely check that out. But thank y'all so much. Y'all have a great day, and I'll see y'all next time on TCG Talk.